Hello, thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Anoush, and I'd like to introduce you to a segment that we like to call Focal Point, where we'll be addressing issues and topics within the community. A little bit about me: I'm a recent university graduate, and throughout my time where I've worked and volunteered, I've had the opportunity to touch on a variety of different industries. And I'm here along with a variety of guests to share our opinions and get real deep into what's going on in the community these days. Where we'll be covering business, e-commerce, social affairs, and if you have any ideas about what you'd like to hear, you can also let us know. Today's topic is going to center around the ever-evolving logistics industry and how you can get into it, what's going on with it, the boom within it, and also how our graduates are facing hesitation and difficulties transitioning from university into their career paths and their jobs, and what steps we can help them and what employers are looking for to make that transition a little easier. We have with us a logistics industry specialist, Mazhar Ayub Khan, who has over 3 decades of experience, and I'm going to let him do his own introduction.
Thank you, Anoush, for having me on the show. I'm glad that you guys are just now focusing on something, which is the need of the time. And honestly speaking, I've been thinking about it. There have been so many issues. I was trying to address it with the people actually. And honestly speaking, there are a lot of people who approach me and talk to me with regards to the similar issues. And since you're talking about logistics, we see that how dramatic changes have taken place in past 5, 6 years. And we do understand that now since the demographics are changed, the dynamics are changing for the business industry. Logistics, as you rightly pointed out, is evolving, and we need to understand that what kind of prospect this industry has for us. And one of the issues, I would honestly speaking, I tell you that when I see the young graduates after graduating from universities and colleges, they end up into a situation looking for small jobs, not knowing where exactly they're heading. And this particular platform for Focal Point means to bring that talent and giving them the way forward, the direction where they can actually move on and find something. Since I've been associated with the transportation and logistics industry for past 3 decades, and I have gone through a process where the multimodal transportation works. And how does that work? Because honestly speaking, it used to be something like a pickup and a delivery mechanisms in old days. I mean, old-fashioned time. The people used to call it pickup and delivery, whether it was from point A to B, or from one city to another city, or from one country to another country. Irrespective of the transportation, it was just a point of a pickup and a delivery. But now it has evolved, and it has reached a place where it is a scientific phenomenon, actually. And you rightly pointed out that how it is impacting things on the markets. Reason being that now it has matured, qualified into a stage where it is called the fulfillment center. And it is not possible with the scientific knowledge. It is not possible without upgrading yourself. And for example, these online companies, the kind of impact they're creating now, the competitiveness of the industry requires a certain amount of engagement of a logistics industry. And honestly speaking, if you look at, doesn't matter how glamorous is online business website is, but end of the day, if there's no final mile delivery solution, doesn't matter what commitments you're making, the stuff wouldn't get to the people. So I think that's
Absolutely.
you.
Of course, nobody wants to wait weeks and days anymore when you need something and you need to order it on Amazon Prime. You want it the next day, you want it within the week. Gone are the days where we do postage stamps and we wait weeks and weeks for our shipments to come in. So it seems like with the rise of COVID and everything switching to online and e-commerce and online business, and the hunger to get everything delivered to our doorstep, the logistics industry has taken quite a bit of a boom, and we want to incorporate our younger graduating generation and get their feet wet into it.
Absolutely, and it's honestly speaking. I mean, when I segmentize these three different segments, definitely the young graduates is my focal point. But however, having said this, the people who are already employed with the transportation and logistics companies, the people who are working for online companies, they require a certain amount of an upgrade in their qualification. They have to upgrade their credentials because without doing so, if they have to move to the next level, they have to have something little bit extraordinary. And when we get to hear a term extraordinary, usually it sounds something has to be, out of this world in order to become the extraordinary person. But honestly speaking, it only requires that extra. In making something which is extra makes you that extraordinary person. So I believe that first of all, we have to pinpoint that where exactly we all are heading. That's number one. That's the key point. The young people or the people who are already working for these service providers, whether in logistics or transportation or shipping, you name it, those people. And on top of that, there is a third segment. The third segment are the newcomers. There are a number of newcomers who coming from the Southeast Asian countries, from the Middle Eastern countries, who do not have the prior the Western qualification. And once they come to this part of the world, they first of all, because everybody gets into a survival mode, and they would like to have some kind of breakthrough. And when they go and apply for a job, the first question, okay, what do you have any local experience? Now,
Do you
nobody
have any
do you
qualifications?
have right, you have any qualification? So we actually can guide people and tell people that how you can actually add that value to your existing qualification, which not only gives you a little bit touch in terms of experience, but actually it enhances your skills. This, I mean, we will talk about, inshallah soon, we will talk about the how the programs that we're talking about can help you enhance your skills.
But first, you have to let them know why logistics, right? Because it's been something that we have overlooked as a community for quite a bit of time, and you don't really notice how much you need logistics until your shipment's delayed, or something didn't come in, or we have a shortage, and that's not happening. So as we sit in an era where technology is just consistently evolving, how has logistics adapted to it, and what has the journey of logistics been from just pickup and delivery to these high level fulfillment centers, right? So, okay, can you explain to our audience a little bit more about that?
Sure. I mean, see, we one thing that we see that now the young generation, which is now coming up, they are more yeah, they're more savvy to the technology. They're just savvy to the gadgets that you use. And for people like my era, who used to walk into a retail center and rather buy some stuff for myself, whereas a person like yourself, youngsters, young graduates, who can simply place orders at any point of time, even just without going. And now the challenge is that how the whole process it gets materialized. And the last part of the process is the transportation part, whether the stock assembly of the goods, for example. Let me be just talk very, very clearly so that audience understand the if in order to place an order, where exactly is the stock assembly, where exactly is the shipment being shipped to you, actually, because now it is difficult to fetch your shipments directly from China, and it's more costly. So what they do, they make bulk shipments in fulfillment centers.
Mhm.
They make bulk shipments, so one product in a bigger quantity, they bring it and they would do the inventory in a local place where the consumers are, and they will make not just the inventory, but also the entire record of the shipments. And then in order to make it easy for you to transport it, you can place an order, and the very next day the shipment arrives at your doorstep.
Because how do we pick on Amazon Prime where you have the same products available to you? Let's say we're ordering hair clips. Which seller do you use? I'm more likely to choose the one that's going to get my shipment to me tomorrow rather than the one who's going to be like, yeah, we'll get you your shipment next week, right?
Right.
So how has that change in the mentality of our community and the psychology of people contributed to how the logistics industry is booming now? Is it
Correct.
much bigger than it was before?
I think it's hundreds of times bigger than before. But if you look at the potential, because I was talking to someone, I said, if you look into the industries, most of the industries are saturated.
Mhm.
But when you look into the logistics industry, the scope is so much, the scope of work is so much that it still needs,
It's untouched.
untouched at all. I mean, these are the areas where still people, the industry is looking for young people who can enhance their education, who can improve their credentials, who can get some sort of an experience of the industry and become part of that in order to add value. And I believe that down the line, 10 years, at least this would be a crazy thing. People, everybody is going to go into it, because no matter what happens, no matter what kind of things are happening around us, the political changes, god forbid wars, some natural disaster, irrespective of any circumstances, there is a need for the logistics. And whoever is becoming part of that, he or she should be actually someone leading the show in the down the line, the future. And I think this is a time, because what happens that we are still have so much potential in the industry, that why to get into these saturated industries where people are just saying, okay, we have to accommodate, you are appointed, you just stay as a customer service, you be there for the rest of your life, we'll see if there's an opportunity, we'll see if there's an opening. And everybody is getting into a bottleneck situation. Whereas the industry with so much of potentials, and the only thing is that how seriously I'm taking that industry, and am I focusing on that point, and which it's not just me. You ask any guru, anybody who has spent time in the logistics industry, they can give you the numbers and the figures that how the entire industry evolved. I mean, look at the Amazon. Amazon was a small idea of an online company, but they realized that if we can improve the logistics, we can make that edge. And honestly speaking, other strategies they adapted to, logistics was one of the major strategies that helped them grow to the point where Amazon is today. You can go and check the numbers on the Googles, and you say, 5, 6 years before, where exactly Amazon stood. And not just Amazon, the Alibabas, and now the mushrooming, the organic growth in the industry, small people, which are SMEs, small and medium-sized businesses, which are doing pretty good, and they're minting money. Only thing is that they are taking that logistics very seriously. So I'm so glad that you have that, you're thinking on those grounds, because not many students think about it. Actually, what happens that usually when we start picking up a career path in our lives, we start looking to all those, glamorous industry where I can fit in. And we do not realize the time is short. There is a certain time to grow. And nowadays, the time that we all live in, I mean, there was a time people used to plan for 5, 10 years and then, pass on the business to others, and still business used to flourish. But now the time has changed, the time change
Within 5 years, your business plan is gone
is
because you
gone.
waited too long.
Your entire your brainstorming, your strategies, if you're not implementing and not making the best use of that, down the line 4 to 5 years, the businesses will be completely, the business plan will be completely obsolete.
But what kind of security can the logistics industry provide to people that are already in there? Should they stay there and moving up, or to our graduates who are looking to move into there? Because one of the biggest things that we like to talk about these days are recessions, market fluctuations, and where the economy and the economy of sales is headed. So how is logistics providing a not a safe career path, but a stable career path?
Very, very good question. I really, I really like the question, because honestly speaking, obviously, before you identify something for your future, and especially that is to do with your career, I mean, you have to be very conscious about it. Rather, you got to be cautious about it. So honestly speaking, I would say just see the numbers, just see how the industry is evolving. And the only two things that you can change: the growth over the past 5 years, and what potential that you see down the line 5 years. So those 10 years will make logistics as a choice. But the only thing is sometimes people are unaware that what kind of qualification do I need? What kind of experience do I need? Do I have to have some extra qualification in that? So those are all critical points. And this is why I think the focal point is one of the things that we can guide students, we can tell students, although probably you have a plan to talk about multiple issues around us. However, this is one of the major issues because like I never like people graduating from universities and colleges and with the plenty of knowledge and background, they still end up doing small retail jobs. So that means if you're stuck because you have to bring the bread to the table and you have to pay your bills and stuff like that, you completely get I say you get destroyed into the process.
How do
Because
we get you out of those entry level jobs and those entry level positions and take you from having just a job to our graduates having careers, and not just our graduates, but people who are working still these entry level positions within logistics? How do we take you from there and get you to move up as well?
right. So I think, we're going to touch base about this. I think they would like to take a break. So we come back after a break.
Absolutely. Welcome back, and we're just going to continue on with our same topic, talking here with Mr. Mazhar about the logistics industry and our graduates and e-commerce and all those good topics mixed into one. So last we left off, we were talking about not just the transition from like school to the workplace and the skills that you need and what employers are looking for, and how to take you out of just graduating and working entry-level jobs in retail and giving you a career path, and also those who kind of feel like they're stuck within those entry-level positions, whether that's in logistics or any other industries, and how do we get you to move up and take those jumps and those leaps in this untouched industry. So
Well, thank you. I mean, Anush, thanks. I mean, you're pointing some really important issues I'm talking about actually. So what I was before the break, I was saying that we get sucked into the processes. Then you no longer can actually use your own potential. This is how it happens. We just become a process at time, and then we get sucked into the same process. And that's why I say that this untapped, I won't say this industry is now massive actually. It's not, I'm not saying it's untapped, but the potential itself even at this point of time is so much that there's so much absorption that we can still look for this industry. Now the point is that I would like to, what we discussed in the first half, that the potential of the industry, logistics industry, because there are two factors. The industry itself is becoming so scientific, and it is also connected to the online businesses, which is the future actually. Now anybody who wants to get into whether they are freight forwarders or they are ocean freight forwarders or they are land transporters or they are domestic or international courier companies, they all require a fulfillment center, and that cannot come without certain qualification.
And now when they work all together as well, we have much more complex systems in route as well. So it
true.
requires a higher level of education and skills and understanding as well, right?
Absolutely true. That's, you rightly pointed out, because what happened that in the past, the air freight forwarder was an air freight forwarder. And if you go ask him anything about ocean, he wouldn't know. And he wouldn't know how the land transportation works. He wouldn't know how the express industry is operating. But now, like I mentioned, that if I want to be qualified and I want to be part of logistics industry, I need to identify, understand, and qualify, get myself qualified based on certain qualifications. And that is something that I always say, that if I want to be part of the logistics industry of the future, I have to qualify myself now. I have to position myself now. I cannot say, because this is how it happened, that we just all sit and see until the whole thing passes through, and then we would like to be part of that. Then we want to be part of the rat race. But the successful people are the people who see things ahead of time. They do take some actions, and action now for the logistics industry is actually that getting yourself qualified. And there are some certain courses which are which are now in there, which are certified courses actually. They are accredited courses actually. So it is not simply any Tom, Dick, and Harry is offering a class to know and understand logistics. It is an accredited course. If you are studying, you get about 39 hours of credits into this, and this is globally accepted. So I would rather, through your show, I would like to invite the audience that they should come, and they should come and talk to us about if they would like to know more, so that we can offer them certain courses. We can bring them into the industry in a way that they still have an edge right from the beginning, not just a guy sitting in the corner. Okay, I've been appointed and now I'm a learner. First of all, everybody has to go through an interview. So he or she would be lucky if she is interviewed and he qualifies. Second, I got appointed and now I'm sitting to and looking up to others. Why not I enter an organization with the prior knowledge and qualification and information, where people actually understand that somebody's coming and adding value to the organization, rather than just coming as a parasite, probably take 2 years to know the industry and then never know whether he's going to perform or she.
Absolutely. And we want to bridge that gap between having the knowledge from school and the skill set from the courses for you to be able to thrive in your workplace. Because like you said, it's about being that extraordinary that moves you forward. And within the first 6 months, within the first year, your managers, your employers, they already know whether you're extraordinary or whether you have the potential to be extraordinary as well. So you want to get the information before you walk in the door that's relevant to the position, because you can, and the advice is general for any career that you do. What you study in university, you learn a lot of theoretical knowledge, and what a lot of courses that are being offered these days, they have co-ops and this and that, which is great, and you should definitely do it because it gives you that real work experience. But with logistics, you can do these courses and you can get these certificates, so you get in there and you're already qualified for the next position, you're already qualified for the next jump, and you're not just taking ladder steps one at a time, but you're taking jumps and you're taking leaps, and then hopefully one day you're also an industry expert here talking to us about something.
Well, you guys are lucky. Honestly speaking, when I started my career, there was no there was no qualification. I mean, you simply graduate from your college or university, and then you pick up a job, and then you learn. I mean, this was the trend was, even including supply chain. At one point of time, supply chain was just a small part in your MBA course, and that was small thing that to know what supply chain is all about. But now supply chain has evolved into a large industry, and logistics is part of supply chain also. So you are absolutely right that you guys are lucky actually that now you have people who can guide you to those to that path, because I know that today's student is a lot more smarter if I compare it to my time. But however, the first-hand information and the experience that I went through, probably any student going to take about 10 years in order to get to that stage.
And I'm telling you, these graduates, they're hungry for movement. They don't want to be waiting 10 years, especially when the resources are available, and you have industry experts as yourself and others to provide information that's relevant. So when they get in there, they have that mentorship and to move forward.
This is true. So that's why, there are certain programs. For example, when I pointed out, first of all, there are 3 segments that we would like to invite. The first segments are students who are graduating or soon be graduating, or who are already, they have graduated already and now they are just looking for the career
workplace accreditation.
So the first the segment is the student. The second one, like I mentioned, the people were already were associated somehow to the logistics and supply chain industry. And the third segment is the newcomers who are coming all the way, leaving everything behind in their countries back home, and then looking for, to live in this part of the world with their existing qualification. So we invite all these 3 segments by providing them the, kind of courses which are upfront, which are not expensive, but they will give you the first-hand information and qualification, not just the information, but also the qualification enough that you can go and talk to an employer and you can tell them that I have this prior information and
I have the knowledge, I have the information, I have the skills. You're not going to be sitting here teaching me for the next 3 months. I'm already coming in with a level of understanding.
This is absolutely true. So so far what I have gone through, and honestly, as a logistics and transportation shipping practitioner, I found a course that's called those people are based in USA, and this US based course is called BRASI, which is basically predominantly it's a research. I mean, the industry giants like ex-CEOs, COOs, CFOs, managing directors,
The mentors that you want to have in a set career path, all in one place available to you.
can you imagine? Because like you rightly pointed out in this discussion that if you're going through theory, the practicality is altogether a different ball game. But imagine the right from the horse's mouth, the people who have spent times and invested time in the transportation logistics industry, they are giving and guiding you the guidelines so that you can make your path up. So, in order to have that, there are certain courses, for example, BRASI offers. And BRASI, we would be happy to actually connect you to BRASI because we have certain programs going on. These programs are all very different programs. For example, one of them is a SysCom, which is a 39 hours program that includes operations, it includes management as well. So after spending 39 hours, you become qualified enough to be someone when you go and talk to someone as an industry practitioner, you have certain amount of qualification with yourself. But not just that, because BRASI offers certain other courses as well. For example, there's a course for the especially for shipping. And this shipping is actually certified course in shipping and transportation and logistics, actually. So although these terms, transportation, shipping, logistics, but these are all different terms. I mean, every term has its own different set of meanings. So, and these are small courses and they're not very expensive. Trust me, because, nowadays qualification, education is an expensive thing. And I know that. I mean, people are lucky who are in this part of the world where most of the education is free of cost. But for your higher qualification, where you want to enhance your skills, you still need some extra, qualification. This requires a faculty. This requires a syllabus. This requires your research work, and
This requires
professors. This is exactly what I'm saying.
Industry experts to teach, to mentor, to make you competitive in the market. Because what are you looking for other than, let's say, like you walk into to do your science lab, and it's like having your professor right there with you, showing you how to do it every single time. Or giving you the information, or just teaching you right before you step in there. Like you're bound to ace it. You're bound to move forward. You're bound to get past the entry level position.
Absolutely. So I think if because this is the first intro. Actually, I'm grateful to Anoush that she invited me, and I'm actually grateful to Awaz Television, because Awaz is entertainment is a television that always focuses on the issues on hand. They just don't actually sell things which are entertaining, but some very real issues that we all face with.
Not even just issues, but solutions to those issues as well.
Absolutely. So not just issues, because highlighting issue is one thing, and then coming up with the solution is altogether a different story. So I think that we are now at the stage, because like I mentioned, that the transportation, shipping, logistics industry is now evolving. I would invite these three segments, as I mentioned: the students, the existing practitioners of the logistics industry, working with different industry players, and the newcomers. And we can guide them and offer them courses through the platform of Awaz Entertainment, because Awaz Entertainment is associated with multiple things, and we would like to guide you through that, so that down the line, 3 months, you're qualified enough, you're equipped enough.
You're competitive in the industry. You're competitive within the within the economy.
Absolutely. The change, like I mentioned earlier, that the economy of scales is actually important. The enhancement of your skills are extremely important. Knowing the industry is even more important. So all these factors will will make a difference, will add a value if we do it in a right way, in a right manner. So we're not going anywhere. We will be stick. We'll have these multiple shows, but a lot depends that what kind of feedback do we get. I mean, we need to understand that whether people are enjoying show in English, or some people probably would like to have some kind of a conversation in Urdu also, because I know the Southeast Asian, diaspora, a lot of them will still be more comfortable in communicating in Urdu rather than in English. But we will be more than happy to guide you through, to basically, let you know what these courses are, how can you enhance your education, how can you upgrade your qualification, how you are more positioned for your career path. Because I always say, don't miss the bus. In order to get into the bus, you have to be at the bus stop. Because you are prepared, but you're not at the bus stop, nothing going to happen. Bus is going to come and leave you there. So it's extremely important that you are there when the opportunity knocks at your door. And that's what we're going to do. I think I get lots of energy from people, students, and youngsters like Anoush, who are have that spirits. They have high spirits. They want to do stuff for the social. They look into social issues and give us some solutions. So I'm glad, Anoush, that you invited me to your show, and I would be glad that inshallah, we work together. So I need your feedback also. You can write it to TV directly. We can, in our next show, which is going to be on the coming Tuesday, we're going to have some information for you in case if you would be interested in the courses. But what I'm saying is that there are courses which is Brassy Worldwide is offering. These are certified courses. These are accredited courses. These are very, they're not very expensive. You don't have to invest a lot of money in that. But in terms of value, you're going to have a lot of value in that.
And we can definitely continue speaking about that over the next couple of weeks, depending on what feedback we get from our audience, what their questions are, what answers they're looking for as well. So I want to thank you so much for joining us today, Mazhar, and I just want to let our friends know that once again, you can feel free to reach out to the channel about any other topics, as well as questions, concerns, or queries, and we'll be more than happy to get those answered for you.
Thank you so much, Anoush. Before we leave, one more thing I would like to add. These are not restricted to Canada only. These are global, because our viewership is global. We can entertain some global viewers also who are interested in doing courses in transportation and logistics. So I repeat it, we do global courses through global digital classes. And these are accredited courses, certified courses. And these are courses which
These
we
are
can
the
have.
courses your international employers are looking for, because it's very difficult to find logistics companies that are just centered within Canada or just centered within the country. Now, with the global environment that we have, everyone's shipping in and out of different countries as well. So it's wonderful that they're globally accredited, and we can set our viewers and our friends up with not only a career in Canada, but a career that's going to follow them wherever they may go.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
And
Anoush,
thank you
for
to
having.
all of our friends and audience for joining us today as well. And hopefully we'll see you next week.